In this video, we're going to go over worksheet 3-4 for the class Discovering Pre-Algebra Part 1. In this class, we do a lot of order of operations, and now we're adding in those integers and absolute values. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, in this first one, I got to do my order of operations of what is in the brackets first, okay? So within my brackets, I see multiplication first. So I'm going to do that. A negative and a negative make a positive in division, and 4 goes into 48 12 times. All right, now these two negatives are going to make a positive. All right, so I actually have 12 plus a 3, which is going to give me a 15. I'm going to make this parentheses since we're just down to it as a multiplication. A positive and a negative are going to make a negative, and 3 times 15 is 45. All right, again, let's do some work on the inside. Let's do this multiplication first. 2 negatives make a positive 22. And I got some double negatives going on. So let's go ahead and make that positive. That's going to be a 24. I'm going to just bring it back to parentheses, but as I can see, I don't really need it because all I have is addition going on there. It's just 24 plus a negative 11, or 24 minus an 11. I'm just subtracting. It's just simple subtraction, and I get 13. All right, and this one I got to do what's in the parentheses first. And again, it's negative 48 times divided by a positive 4 this time. So it's going to be a negative 12. Order of operations says I got to do this multiplication first. It's going to be 21. So it's like I have an adding up my debt situation. I owe $12. I owe $21. I owe $33. Or I can look at it as it's at negative 12 temperature outside. Temperature drops another 21 degrees. It's going to be at a negative 33. All right, and this one I got to do what's in the parentheses, and I really need to do that multiplication from left to right. So first I'm going to come up with a 10. Then my 10 times a negative 2 is going to be a negative 20. And if I owe $20, but I have $5 in my pocket, after I pay off that debt, I'm talking about still owing $15. Or if it's negative 20 degrees outside and the temperature raises 5 degrees, it's still going to be a negative temperature of 15. All right, so the first thing I want to do is resolve this absolute value. I treat it like it's a parenthesis in my order of operations. If it's an absolute value of a negative 3, it's now going to be a positive 3. Next, I want to resolve this multiplication. 2 times a negative 3 is going to give me a negative 6. And now I just have subtraction, okay? So I have $3, I owe $6, I still owe $3. If I owe $3 and then borrow another 8, my debt has now risen to $11. All right, so the first thing I want to do is get this 15 out of the absolute value. It remains 15. It's being multiplied to the negative 3, so I'm going to put it in parentheses. All right, first thing I need to do is the multiplication. That's going to be a negative 45 when I multiply all that out. All right, then I got to add and subtract from left to right. Negative 45 plus 2, if I have $2 to pay down my debt, I'm still going to owe a negative 43, okay? And then we see that I have 2 negatives, which is going to actually make a positive. Good thing for me. Pay down some of that debt, and if I do that, it's going to be a negative 25. Last two, got to do what's inside this parentheses first. It's or absolute value, it's gonna be a positive 41. Next, I gotta resolve that absolute value, so it's a 41, and it's gonna be times 8. 41 times 8 is going to be, I think I'm having a little bit of a brain freeze, but I'm pretty sure it's 328. Let me just double check. Yes. And I'm really just subtracting 7. So that's going to come out to 321. All right, a negative 8 times, and if I do this, I have $3, I owe $9, I owe still $6. But since it's in an absolute value, it's going to come out as a positive. If I multiply these two together, I get a 48, and because it's negative and positive, it's a negative 48. All right, keep doing these until you feel comfortable with them. Next is adding in some decimals and fractions. So I'll see you in class.